that today, when I meet great entrepreneurs, I think that they have great Jedi forces. They know where they want to be. They know where are the dots. And the CFO is there to create a plan out of it.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley, in partnership with Morphysec, sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Upwest Labs, Synergy Global, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, Birthright Excel, Serona Partners, and in media partnership with CTech. Welcome to another episode of 20-Minute Leaders. Today, I'm joined by Reinfeld, Chief Financial Officer at Morphisec. Prior to joining Morphisec, Ron served as Chief Financial Officer at IntSights, acquired by Rapid7, where he oversaw global finance, legal, HR, and planning operations. Ron brings over 15 years of financial leadership experience at SaaS companies. He was VP of Finance and Operations at Zooz, acquired by PayU, and has held various financial and operational roles at Cloudshare, Clarizen and Ernst Young, where he specialized in technology, IPOs and M&As. In addition, Ron has held multiple advisory roles at early-stage tech startups. Ron Reinfeld, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for being with me today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's exciting. I didn't see a lot of CFOs in the previous sessions, which I enjoyed. And I think we can give a new fresh air for the CFOs around us.
Well, I'm excited to go deep into what it means to be a chief financial officer of an organization. As an engineer and product guy myself, I have to say I'm really scared of CFOs. I'm scared of the term, and I'm really excited to finish these 20 minutes with a new light and new hope for myself. And for some of my friends to understand what this position is all about. And I definitely couldn't pick somebody better to sort of dumb it down, the profession for me than somebody who was born on April 15th, tax day. So thank you very, very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me again. Looking forward. It's usually in every sales kickoff.
I want to hear the fun story.
Whenever there's a sales kickoff, when I'm joining a new company, and there's also something interesting about you, every time I pop up the April 15th, the tax day, that's when they know that I'm not just mad about something, that I can bring something better to the table.
Beautiful. All right. So Ron, a lot to uncover here, a lot to unpack. You've been with finance for a long time. You've been holding, executive positions, starting from VP Finance at incredible companies like Cloudshare, member of the advisory board at my role, VP Finance at Zooz, and most recently CFO of IntSights and CFO of Morphisec currently. Lots of interesting positions. You've seen a lot. You've experienced a lot. What is the chief financial officer position in a company?
It's a great question. And I think for many entrepreneurs, it's also a question. And sometimes it's hard to find the right one because it's not exactly known to everyone what exactly we're doing in that dark room that all of the Excels and data is coming out of. So I think that at the end of the day, for the management and for the board, it's that person or that place that provides you what the number are telling. It's the place that if you're a CEO, it's the place that you can come open, say the truth. No one will be frustrated. Everything's okay. We can fix everything. You can calm down everything, work on a different plan, listen, have open discussion. Because I usually joke with my friends that sometimes entrepreneurs, I call it the Muhammad Ali effect. They are getting so many punches from so many places. It can come from the investors, from the team, from their peers. And there's one place that needs to have them, guys, this is where we want to go, how they want to do it. And I think that today, when I meet great entrepreneurs, I think that they have great Jedi forces. They know where they want to be. They know where are the dots. And the CFO is there to create a plan out of it. And it's a reality check and a real plan that you can monitor and see what is going on every day. And clearly, we are here to see and make sure that we invest in our dream. We have a clear runway, and we make sure that all of the efforts and resources are going to the right place.
Right. Now, I'm looking at a startup and I'm looking at a leadership team, and I'm imagining a group of people that are totally visionaries. They're, breaking walls, move fast and break things, and constantly being very, very optimistic. Where on the scale between being very realistic and very in the present versus being very bold, visionary, and futuristic, where does the CFO lie? Because oftentimes I'm imagining CFOs joining early companies. How do you balance those two things?
So I think at the end of the day, when you work with a strong team and you're there to orchestrate and make sure that the story is cohesive and it aligns with what the numbers are saying, then this is the point that is able to make the legwork, not for the CEO directly with the management, but for the CFO and the management team to align together and come prepared to the CEO and make their argument clear, because when you show it and you support with data, then the decisions are easier. And we are all here to make fast decisions. As you said, we are always pushing for decisions. Even if we go wrong, that's okay. We'll fix it fast and we do something different. But we need to open our ears and our eyes and just face reality. And that will make us move very, very fast. On many cases, it's the CFO is getting tasks that no one else wants to do. That's a part of what you do. And they can go around administration. They can go around processes. They can go for creating the operating plan to make sure that we are heading to the right direction.
I wanted to transition to hearing a little bit about your personal experiences as a CFO. And so you've seen, multiple companies, multiple positions. You've grew as an executive in the CFO positions. What was the experience like on a personal level for you coming into companies and seeing through some really incredible financial transactions and strategic decisions being made in the life cycle of a company?
I'm going to say cliche, but the most important thing is us, the people, and getting to a good relationship with the management team. That's the core thing that is extremely important. It's making sure that they know that even though you sometimes present numbers that are not totally aligned with the story that we want to tell, and making sure that they know that we can work on a plan together to align it and make us as a team stronger, I think that's the core of it. If the CEO feels comfortable coming frustrated into my office and call me at whatever hour he feels, just because, as I said before, there is one person in this company who is there to help him 100% on any front, by the way. And I think we're doing something great. We need to move fast. Let's take a deep breath, look at things again, and then make sure we do it right. I've been to multiple companies, and part of them I was there for the first PO that they ever got. And we got to companies that were crossing the tens of millions, which is it's fascinating. And I think that it was interesting to me to go through that, because at the beginning, more experienced CFOs told me there's a huge difference between the CFO that you need to be between 0 to 5 million, 5 to 20 something, and more than that. And then I started to understand it, because there is so much to do on the back end of a company. If it's indexing the data in the right way, if it's creating the right dialogue, if it's making sure that I understand every process that is going through, how does customer success influence what we do? And how can I influence the things that will have the most, that will be most beneficiary for us to fix? If we are targeting churn or NRR or any other synonym, and it's funny because always the tech guys have synonyms that I don't understand, and I'm not shy to say, guys, I just don't understand what you just said. Please explain. So when it comes to NRR, AR, and things like that, it's okay, and it's a good discussion to have. And if we know that it's going to be a challenging year, where should we focus? And it's all going back to creating that team that can talk openly. Again, in my old days, I used to play water polo. For many years, I was in the Israeli cadet team. And there are two things that I think I took from that experience. The first one is work hard. Put your head in the water and just keep on swimming. The second thing is not to avoid the conflict. Discuss it and solve it before it gets to a place that it's hard to recover. And I think that is maybe my biggest lesson in that, because sometimes when you can come as the CMO or CRO and, this is your play and this is what you want to achieve, this is what you want to present. And then part of what you are saying, I can't justify it with the numbers. And it's up to me to make sure that I'm your partner. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm not here to make you embarrassed. And I always take the calls beforehand. I never surprise an executive in a management meeting, sure, not in a board meeting, but they know exactly where are the differences. So we will come together to that meeting and we will create the assurance that our CEO and our investors want us to create. And I think for me, it's a huge lesson. It's not always easy. And sometimes, pointing a PO, which is a bad PO, which is going to influence us in a bad direction, is not easy to say. And it's a part, you can see by the gray hair, I made many mistakes, and I'm sure I'll make more, but I'm trying to reduce them as much as possible.
Now, how attached do you think you as a CFO need to be to the mission of the company, to the vision of the company on a product level, on a technology level, in order to be a successful CFO for that company?
100%. If I can't explain what I'm doing as a company, if I can't understand where is my focus point, then it's very hard for me to understand what is going on. I think that, and I'm pushing my teams all the time to be close to the field, to be close to the product, making sure that we are able to show the R&D and the product exactly how do they make a difference. If they want to change something, if they want to add more capabilities, even reporting, I need to understand the big picture and make sure I provide this data all the time. So if it works well, then we won. If it's not working well, so let's just fix it. And if I don't get it, and if it's hard for me to get it, I think I'm not optimizing my abilities in enabling. And going back to what you asked before, I think that the CFO is a big enabler of things in the company. And I can't see a CFO being successful without understanding the mission, vision, even values. At the end of the day, it's all aligned to one place. And we get the very interesting thing that we see everything from start to end, both on data and also on the tactical things. When someone is asking me how many options that I have is vested, I think I learned that it's a sign. And I hear and see what is happening, and it's all connected. And again, being there and being a part of all of it makes a huge difference. And I think I was more successful in companies that I was very aligned and I knew exactly where we're heading. And that allows me to create the right plan to get there in our future.
Beautiful. So what I'm hearing from this is, if we're looking at a successful CFO position, it's not just somebody who's crunching the numbers and doing the Excels, but somebody who's a part of the strategic thinking process, a part of the culture of the company, is a part of the leadership team, even to the point where you're gauging, what's happening with your own human resources and what's happening with your organization and what the different incentives are. Now, really, let's talk details. What does a CFO do in the day-to-day? I know that an engineer mainly writes code, a product manager mainly, writes PRDs and takes meetings, and a designer mainly works on Figma or Photoshop. But what does a CFO actually do?
Okay, so there are multiple layers for that, and I'll try to go first at least to the major ones.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, we need to run the company's runway. We need to make sure that we are getting to the next financing round in the best shape that we can. We need to make sure that the people understand that the budget is a derivative of the operating plan. we need to help creating that plan in a way that we all have checks and balances throughout the way. A CFO is not the one who's going through Expensify and just making sure that the numbers are correct. Yes, we are a place of accuracy. We demand that from ourselves. We are in a very interesting triangle between founder, investors, and CFO. And we need to be, at the end of the day, the adult on deck, because people will be looking at us, because we are not as dreamers as the founder are. We are not technical, that's for sure, but we are able to share the exact location of where the company is at, and having the right triggers in place to know when should we step on the pedal and when should just wait for a minute and see what is happening. There are many tactical things that we are doing: tax reports, financial statements, commissions. Again, there are many things that we're taking care of, and I think there is a difference between one CFO to the other. Personally, I like operations. I'm running the RevOps organization. I think it helps me get to a better planning capability and a better monitoring tool for me to have. Of course, we're always investigating future financing options. If it's debt, when is the right time to take debt, investments, PEs. We have an open list of who is a relevant acquirer or a relevant PE that might be interesting, and trying to offload mainly from the CEO the things that he shouldn't be concentrated in, and making sure that when he is needed, he is needed. Right. So I'm not sure I got into all of the details, honestly.
Well, I think that what you're shedding light for me is really about this idea of holistic partnership, that, you know, you're not just some outsourced figure that is helping crunch numbers and, you know, be a blocker in many essence to the leadership team, but you really are a partner in everything that's happening with the organization, and your job is to enable the company to get to its best financing round, to get to the best matrix, to set the best KPIs, to communicate in the best way with the board, with the employees, and with everybody. How did you find, were you successful in forming this intimate relationship with the leadership team so that everybody feels like this, like you as a CFO are a part of this big ship? You're not just this, you know, realist guy who's here to block, but you're here as a part of the journey, and everything that you're doing is for the sake of the company and not, you know, just for the sake of financials.
So I think the journey starts, and it takes around 3 to 5 months until you're able to get to that position. And that my peers understand that whatever needs to be done, we will make it happen. It can be playing with Excels. It can be, you're the CRO, I'll make all of the working documents for you. I will call you for the right time, take a look at it, do the sanity check. And it's not only saying, okay, so State of the Cloud 2021 said that the 5 Cs should be, that won't help us enable anything. It's critical. And the key bank benchmarks are critical. But there is such a huge gap between what we can bring to the table and what the actual people, you know, the CRO, which is in the field, and the CMO and the CTO, they have so much things to take care of. And if we can offload part of that thing, that because we are part of our CPA, so by definition, we think in a structured way. And part of the people in the team are not as structured. It's okay, because we are working together. So we can take care of that while you make sure we get to the end result that we want to get. So I think it takes a lot of back and forth. I think, you know, numbers don't lie and CFO don't lie. And if they do, then you have a problem. And the minute that you understand that the person in front of you will be there for you on a personal level as well, by the way. I think it's a real partnership, because one thing that I love about emerging, fast-growing tech companies is that I don't like the comparison to family, because you don't choose a family, but you do choose who you want to work with. and you want to make sure that I have your back. And I think that a strong CFO will always have your back. And if there's an issue, let's make sure that next time it's done correctly. And I'm always starting with every entrepreneur that I meet, and I'm sharing my personal story, where I failed, what I want to achieve, how do I conduct my discussions, and I need to make sure that there is the right alignment between us, because otherwise I won't be able to enable the things that I want to enable. So that's for me our key factors.
What do you enjoy most about your daily work? Where, if you're looking at the last 20 years, where is the biggest joy that you're getting?
Wow, it's amazing. So the biggest joy for me is being able to identify that specific point that we are getting off track, or that we are accelerating more than we wanted, and making sure that you are there when it happens to block it or push it. I think it's one of the most exciting thing. For me, the entire tech experience is amazing. I love the roller coaster in it. Come to the office in the morning, it's a crazy day, everything went so well. Then you had a call with one of the investors that wasn't happy, and then you're just going down that second and up later because you see that the quotas are being attained. So that entire circle, when you drive back home, you said, wow, it was a nice day. And I'm trying to enjoy what I do. And I think I think that there are many things that we can enjoy, and I think that there are amazing things that are happening here in our industry. One of the things that it's quite an old post that was in Quora. I'm sure you're familiar with that, about the bananas and working with Israelis.
I'm not. Tell me about it.
So trying to understand. Oh, I will send it to you either way after the session, but it's someone that is trying to share with his friends how is it to work with Israelis. And it starts with a case study that in the US, they wanted to have banana straightened, because the way that this cereal is being eaten, that it will be easy to slice the bananas. And there are two different teams, one in the US and one in Israel. So the US team, after 24 months, they have a full-blown product. The next day, they already posted a job on LinkedIn. They're doing all of their research. They are creating 100% machine that will be ready in 36 months. And I think they say that they will need electricity power of a refrigerator. On the other hand, the guys from Israel, in the second sentence, they say, that's a stupid idea. Why do you need to straighten a banana? And on their way home, they call a friend that lives in a kibbutz and ask them, can we straighten a banana? And I think the story says 5 or 6 weeks, they create a machine built out of Uzi parts that is able to straighten 67% of the bananas. The rest are either squashed, disappear, or God knows what happens. It cost about 5 weeks to get the entire thing ready end to end. The cost per machine is $5. And when the CEO says, but 37% are not straightened, it wasn't part of the PRD, and we're okay, and we still think it's a stupid idea. So I think when you try to gather all of that, and I think that, again, it's a part of being an executive, not only a CFO, but understanding that not everyone across the table are talking in the same jargon. Questioning things is important to a limit. Pushing things is good to a limit. Doing research is the right thing to do. It shouldn't take 6 months, but it should happen. And I think that in that dialer, we play an interesting role in that. So that inspires me, because I see the good things and things that we still need to improve. And I will send you either way after the session.
I would love that. And Ron, I just love how I'm leaving this conversation with a really different perspective on, the type of CFO that I want to get for my future company. And I'm looking at I'm just looking at it in a different light, and I think that I needed to give more credit to the strategic position and not just the one that is going to be managing the financial rounds and perhaps an optimistic acquisition at some point, but really somebody who's a partner along the way, helping the leadership team make the right decisions, put a mirror to what's happening in the world, but put the mirror not in a foreign light, but in a teamwork and in an internal light that we can just overcome together as a team. And I think that I'm just so thankful that you joined me for these 20 minutes, and I really appreciate your time and your energy, and your record speaks for itself with the incredible companies that you've been a part of up until now. And I can't wait to see what else you're going to be doing. So thank you very, very much, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you guys, all of you, will understand that the CFOs have so much to give. Sometimes it's difficult, but the intent is good, and work with them. Work with them. Let them talk. Let them share. Put a limit to that, because if they're out of bounds, it shouldn't continue. And again, it's a pleasure to listen to your sessions, and thank you so much for having me. And I'm sure Morphisec is going to be the next big thing.
Thank you very, very much.